What is happening, spectacular Spider friends? Welcome back to K-Wing's Let's Plays, and as promised, this is our review of Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, this review will have a spoiler section, because there's no way you can talk about this movie without doing spoilers. But before we get to that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified when more awesome vids arrives. And special shoutouts to all our members, including our ultimates. If you guys want to join up, all you have to do is click that tier and, select the one that works best for you. So,
awesome.
Yeah, we saw Spider-Man yesterday. It was really good. I would place it probably either number 4 or number 3 for my all-time top 5, including Into the Spider-Verse, because that movie was amazing. And even though it's animated, just like Batman Mask of the Phantasm, it does Spider-Man justice. So I would definitely, I would pit probably No Way Home, sandwich between Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 3, and it'd be like a battle between Spider-Man 3 and No Way Home. And then I'd probably have Amazing as number 5. I don't think that Tobey's Spider-Man 3 makes the top 5 for me.
I don't know. I wrote on my Twitter that I would say after... I do like Amazing Spider-Man. I do. I put this one after it. So,
okay. All right.
I put this one my top 4, but then I forgot to put Into the Spider-Verse in there because I was just doing regular.
Okay.
Yeah, people did call me out for that. They're like, you didn't put Into the Spider-Verse. It's like, oh, right. So I have to readjust my entire list. But yeah, I put like Tobey's 1 and 2, and then Amazing Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man No Way Home for my top 4 live action. But I'll have to adjust that for Into the Spider-Verse because that movie was amazing.
Mm-hmm. So, as you guys know, how this movie works is this is Tom Holland's 3rd Spider-Man movie, but it is his 6th Marvel movie since he first appeared in Captain America Civil War, which was kind of awesome. And he really owns the role in this one. A lot of people are saying, myself included, that the Tom Holland trilogy, so the Home series, Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home, they're essentially establishing Spider-Man's origin story over the course of 3 movies. He is very irresponsible. He's very, the world is kind of his oyster because of his connection to Iron Man and the Avengers. He doesn't have he has the Peter Parker qualities, but you never see them. Peter, of course, is a poor kid who, does the best that he can. Learns that with great power comes great responsibility. All the Spider-Men did, like Tobey's and Andrew. And they all learned this in their first movie. And then over the course of their second films, they would have to deal with like an intense tragedy and sacrifice and make a choice whether they're going to be Spider-Man or not. And we haven't really seen that with Tom Spider-Man, even in this movie. Like, he doesn't decide that he's not going to be Spider-Man after he undergoes like something horrific. But it was still probably for me the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. I did really like it, and not just like the spoilery section. It's just the acting was really good. The story is fantastic. It picks up right after the events of Far From Home, like literally right after JJ exposes his identity, and then we see the repercussions of that.
Yeah, it does pick off exactly after the last Spider-Man movie. Like, it's almost as if they could be morphed into one big movie, like they were just cut in half, the films. Like
they did the BVS thing.
Yeah.
So basically Man of Steel ends, and then it picks up, they rewind time a little bit, and they show you what happened when Bruce Wayne, rushed into it, and then it picks up immediately after, like the aftermath of that. This film does that even better, and it's literally within seconds after JJ played the, Mysterio's last will and testimony that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and Peter's whole world ends up, crashing completely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, like, Luke and I had different reactions, because for me, it would look like he did murder Mysterio. To me, like, if I saw all that, I would think.
Amber's Team Mysterio.
So Luke was telling me, no, like, they were in a battle, and he didn't mean for him to die. And I was like, nope, he definitely killed him.
Technically, the drones killed him.
Okay.
Technically, it was the drones.
But still, I mean, it's like pretty
yes, Mysterio died.
Intense I don't know. Yeah, circumstances.
Although some people believe that he pulled a Loki and faked his death, but you know, that's what people say. I guess we'll find out if he ever shows up in other movies. But yeah, Mysterio for me was Far From Home was a very weak movie. Like if I would rank the Tom Holland trilogy, it would go No Way Home, and then it would go Homecoming, and then Far From Home would be kind of at the bottom. It's a pretty awkward movie.
Homecoming was great because that was the one with Michael Keaton. And
Keaton stole the show.
Yeah, the Far From Home. I didn't even remember watching it. After I watched it, I was like, I watched that. I didn't even remember that. It's
an average movie.
It was weird because I didn't even remember it. So I was like, oh.
Jake Gyllenhaal's acting was good. That's why people give it a pass. And, you know, Samuel L. Jackson was in it. He had some funny sections, but for the most part, the movie just drags on. It's essentially a very awkward romance film between MJ and Peter. You know, it felt like kind of like a rom-com at parts, and Spider-Man.
It felt like a Hallmark movie. Yeah,
basically. It felt like a really poorly done Hallmark movie. But people praised Jake Gyllenhaal's performance because, you know, the world thinks he's a superhero when in reality the audience know he's a, you know, jilted Tony Stark employee. The whole movie also deals with the fallout after Iron Man died, so it still feels like even though Robert Downey Jr. isn't in the movie, you know, his shadow still looms over Spider-Boy, and it, you know, everything was connected to Iron Man. This movie, no connection to Iron Man. It is fully a Spider-Man movie dealing with Spider-Man villains, Spider-Man, you know, heart, Spider-Man sadness, Spider-Man grit. Everything that makes Spider-Man Spider-Man is in this movie, and it has an amazing dose of nostalgia that just like it wraps it up perfectly. You know, I can't think of any really great food terms, but it's like that. It's like a
burrito.
Not like a Spider-Man burrito. No, I was thinking like a fancy meal.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said wrap it up.
No, I don't know culinary terms though, so I don't know what.
Like a 5-course meal or something.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe a 4-course. I wouldn't.
There you go.
This movie has some things in it that I didn't like that I'll talk about in the spoiler section. But for the most part, I'd probably give the movie a solid 9. I think it would either be an 8.5 or a 9 for me. Most likely.
I mean, I wouldn't give it a 10 because that would be for the Tobey movies.
Not all the Tobey movies get a 10 for me.
But, I mean, still, it would, like 8.5, and then we'll reserve the 9.5 or 9s for the Tobey. And even Andrew Garfield, I would say, was pretty good, like 8 points or
You mean
9.
his movies?
Yeah, Andrew Garfield movie would be like a 9 for me.
Okay, that's interesting. I've never really put Andrew Garfield. I mean, I liked Andrew's like quipping and stuff in his movies, which I'm still not seeing a lot of quipping from Holland's Spider-Man. At least I don't. In his first movie, Homecoming, he does quip a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember a lot of quipping, even in this movie.
Well, it's not just for Andrew Garfield, it's also for Gwen. I thought she did a really good job.
So, we're going to begin talking about the first act, which isn't a spoiler. It has to do with the premise of the movie, which they explain all in the trailers. So pretty much, like we said at the beginning of the movie, his identity is exposed, and half the world loves him, half the world hates him. JJ is basically like the Rush Limbaugh or InfoWars guy. He's a very intense journalist who does not like Spider-Man, and he sees Spider-Man as a menace. And JJ actually played a pretty big role in, I would say, the first arc of the movie. Like, he was very integral. He has his own little arc, too. He starts out in essentially an apartment, like, doing his news. And then over the course of the several months of hunting Spider-Man, he has his own, like, the Daily Bugle becomes not just like this crazy little internet vlog. It becomes like this massive building. I don't know if you saw that or not, but he has his own studio, and he has all these people helping him out.
Well, the thing about JJ is he owns the Daily Bugle, so I don't really like how they made him like a conspiracy person, because
alternate universe.
I really feel as though he is a mainstream media person, so there would be no reason for him to be conspiracy. He owns the Daily Bugle. So anyway.
Well, I mean, I think they were doing that too because, like, basically media today isn't fair. Like, it takes from just one major perspective, and then the other side is whether it's, you know, whatever it's seen as conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one side or the other.
One side or the other, exactly.
I've heard that about modern media is like they don't meet. No media sites meet. Everyone listens to their own version of truth, and that's all they listen to.
Yep, that's correct. So that was kind of a fun little arc how they did that. And then, of course, Spidey gets, oh, crud, this guy's gonna wreck me. Hang on. There we go, okay. That would have been very bad. Like, people be like, you're dying. I think this is still set to hard, so I mean, I'm still waking up.
Luke's still in hard mode and waking up,
Yeah, so yeah, JJ gets his office and stuff like that. He's hunting Spider-Man. I would say Aunt May and Happy weren't too upset with him, you know? They were kind of like, oh, you know, your identity was leaked. But then things get from bad to worse, and just like in the trailer, Spider-Man does get arrested. Like, within probably 6 minutes of the movie.
Why was it that I was actually glad for that? Because I was like, why would he not have consequences for killing somebody else on TV?
Yep.
So I was actually happy about that. I don't hate Spider-Man. It's just like, he needs consequences like the rest of us.
Yep. I will tell you guys right away, there is no courtroom scene. That was something that they showed in the trailer. It could have been from, like, something else, but everything basically takes place in the police station where, you know, everybody's being grilled over their connection to Spider-Man. So just like in the trailer, they show May, and I think they cut Happy. Like, Jon Favreau's scene was, I don't remember seeing him being questioned. And they did show Ned being questioned and Mary Jane, so that was all because of their connection to... Yeah, Michelle, sorry. Michelle Watson. Yeah. So, I mean, that was all in the trailer. And we can't tell you the lawyer because that's a spoiler section, but the lawyer, he's in the movie for, like, I don't know, probably like 2 minutes or something.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's a lawyer. Yep. Yeah, but we can't tell you who it is.
The lawyer gets him out based on his connection to Tony Stark.
You can guess who it is in the comments.
Yeah, you can guess. In fact,
do you know someone in the Marvel Universe who would be a great lawyer for Spider-Man? Let us know in the comments and guess. But we're not telling you right now.
There's a couple that, you know, have appeared in Marvel stuff that would, and are appearing in Marvel stuff. There's a show about a lawyer coming out in 2022.
Cool.
Starring Hulk's cousin. So, yeah, a lawyer helps him out. And, you know, it was thanks to his connections to Iron Man. They even hint at, like, in the conversation, you know, if people didn't know who Peter was, then it would be much harder to get him off. So the fact that he's an Avenger and, you know, all this other stuff, yeah. And then, of course, they have to move, which is a big thing. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, we can't live here because their dumpy apartment that they've been living in can't really be there when the whole world hates you. And there's a massive time skip, which I believe they highlight in the trailer, too. Like, his identity comes out, and then it skips all the way to Christmas. This movie is kind of like a Christmas movie, sort of.
Yeah, what movie doesn't try to become a Christmas movie?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it comes out in December, it just makes people feel like, oh, okay, this is a little bit more relatable. So, the beginning of the movie is probably, like, in the summer, like when they went on their far-from-home vacation. I don't know, probably June, July. And then everything kind of accumulates by sometime in December because you see Christmas stuff and snow at the very end of the movie. So... it was, you know, it didn't feel very jarring to me. Sometimes when there's, like, time skips, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, this is a little, feels weird. But I think they handled it well. You felt, like, kind of Peter's anguish for, the stuff that was happening. And it showed that he wasn't a very selfish character.
Yeah, it also felt to me like he went from kind of having a Andrew Garfield mentality to everything is going my way to suddenly being a Toby character. Like, I have no idea what's happening. I'm hoping to get through life.
My whole life is falling apart, but I have my girlfriend and my best friend and my aunt and Happy. I have my Happy. Everything's okay. And he's still actually is Spider-Man. He's still doing his friendly neighborhood stuff, even though half the world hates him. Like, I don't believe that he was actually just living in his house, because they show sequences where he's out swinging about, and they don't show him stopping crime, which I think that would have been good if they did that. Because even when, you know, Toby and Andrew Garfield are public enemy #1 in their movies, they're still out there. There's a couple sequences where you see him in his spider suit, and the crowd either is taking pictures of him or they are, you know, throwing things at him, like salad and other things like that. So that was kind of interesting to see that they did that a little bit.
So when do we get to talk about villain fights and stuff?
We're still in the first half of the movie, so it's going to be quite a while. You got to be patient. So, all right, we were... okay,
you said
so...
people were throwing salad.
Yeah, throwing salad at him. And then, basically what happens is, he tells MJ that she's the best part of his life as he's, you know, sleeping on the couch because Happy is still trying to get good with Peter's aunt. So he gave the aunt his room, so he's sleeping in a chair. And Peter is hanging out on the couch talking to his girlfriend on FaceTime or whatever. And everything, you know, Peter is kind of like listening to MJ like, you know, it could be a lot worse and we're going to go to college and everything's going to be okay. And they just kind of, you know, hang out there and everything seems like it's going to be okay. Or at least MJ's trying to be optimistic and Peter's like, yeah, okay. And people are wondering like, well, how does the whole Doctor Strange stuff like come into play? Well, according to the trailer, things don't go well for him and his friends. And it's the last straw for Peter. Although Peter actually doesn't really think it through very clear. And it's the last straw for him because his friends are now being put into harm's way. They can't go to school. They can't get on with their life. It's not a spoiler. It's in the trailers.
No, I'm going like this because it's so stupid. A lot
Sorry.
of people can't get into the school they want. It's got a spoiled attitude.
Yeah. So yeah,
all.
Then we have Peter go and he sees Doctor Strange and they have that little interaction in the trailer like, you know, we save the world together. You can just call me whatever.
And may I say that the way that they cut the stuff for the trailer, they made it look like Doctor Strange was like letting Peter walk all over him, but he did not let Peter walk all over him in the movie.
No, he did not.
And I really like the way that Doctor Strange kept giving Peter a chance to act like an adult, but then when he didn't act like an adult, he's like, no, now you can call me sir again. So I really liked how he was like, no, I'm drawing the line again. Like, no, I gave you a chance. No, get out.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
I really liked how when finally he messed everything up and then Doctor Strange was like, he's just like, I don't even know what I can do. He's like, I guess I have no choice. Maybe I should call this, you know, school. And then he's like, you're telling me that, you know, you tried to do an entire spell that could destroy the entire fabric of space and time, and you didn't even call the school that wouldn't let you in. He didn't even try to call them. And he was just like, get out.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you, Doctor Strange. One of my favorite parts of the entire movie.
Okay. So Amber's skipping around a little bit. So we're introduced to Doctor Strange. You know, they do the Holy Avengers thing from the trailer. And then they go down and they do the spell. Just like in the trailer, like Wong says no. But we can't tell you why Wong said no. That's kind of a spoiler.
Right.
But Doctor Strange, there was no winking. I don't remember. The winking is only in the trailer, which is... Sometimes they cut things specifically for the trailer, and maybe that's going to be an extended scene. But they go down, and it's a simple spell just to erase everybody's memory, because, of course, the time stone is gone. They can't use that. So Peter's like, oh, okay, you can easily do that. And he mentions, he says, I've done all this stuff before. And Wong is just kind of like, what? Whatever. He says, I'm gone.
Yeah, do you remember the party on... Thagnar 12 or something?
Wong's like,
and then
what?
He's like, what party? He's like, exactly.
Exactly. So it's supposed to be a very simple spell. And then Peter gets all frantic when the spell is happening, just like in the trailers. He's like, wait a second. My girlfriend needs to know. And Doctor Strange is like, okay, so your girlfriend will know that you're Peter Parker and Spider-Man. She'll know all that, and it's fine. And then Peter keeps messing with the spell, like adding more and more people, like everybody that knows him. And the spell goes out of control, and then it explodes, just like the trailer. And then everything seems like it's fine, right?
He has to contain it, though.
He has to contain it, yeah. So that's what that little box is in the trailer, is he puts the spell in like this little magic box that helps it.
He tries to contain it.
Yeah. So then Peter, he goes and he tries to meet with the school person so he can get his friends into college. Like, an admission lady is on the bridge, and everything is going well. Like, and then all of a sudden, Doc Ock shows up, just like the trailer, and says, "Hello, Peter." And Peter's like, "Do I know you?" And they have like this epic fight, which is really cool. But I can't tell you guys how Peter beats him. Let's just say that Doc Ock is surprised by something, because it looks like in the trailer that Doc Ock is actually going to beat Spider-Man when he steals his like nanotech. But of course something goes awry, and Doc Ock ends up being taken. And right as Green Goblin shows up in the trailer, then Spider-Man is getting a lecture from Doctor Strange. Basically, there's all these bad guys coming through, and who know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, or rather they say characters that know throughout the multiverse that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So there could be a whole bunch of people, and Doctor Strange somehow was able to contain the spell, and only like maybe 10 or 20 people got through. We only see 5 or like 7 people.
Yeah,
from
you don't
alternate.
know if there might be other people that come through.
You don't know. And then of course in the trailer when you see like all these like humanoid things in the sky, there's a whole bunch more that could come.
Yeah, because there's so many villains that Peter Parker has fought in different realities.
Yep, that we've never seen before, which I thought was kind of cool. I was hoping we'd get some more cameos and stuff like that, but for the most part, it was pretty cool. So Peter has to go through and use this like thing that was on his arm that they didn't really explain in the trailer. It's basically a way for him to be super OP and trap the bad guys in Doctor Strange's jail. And then, of course, Doctor Strange allows Peter, like in the trailers, to bring in MJ and Ned, and they basically have to Scooby-Doo stuff by finding the bad guys and putting them in prison. And then that's when things go a little bit crazy. So this next section, people, is going to be spoilers for the movie. We've told you guys how the essential plot of the film is, what the first arc is, because they only really cover the first arc in the trailer. Hey, what's happening, Spider friends? This is K-Wing here, just letting you know that I was kind of wrong. There is no spoiler section in this video. This video came out to be almost 2 hours long, so it's going to have to be divided up because, well, nobody has the attention span for that. So what we're doing is there's a spoiler review that will be posted tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and today's video is spoiler-free. So it just covers the first arc of the movie and our initial thoughts about, you know, what we think about the film. So don't pay any attention to any spoiler warnings or things like that. This is totally spoiler-free, and you can trust me because, well, I'm hanging upside down, and this is completely trustworthy, right? It's a Rami moment, basically. Alright, so enjoy the rest of the video, and thanks for watching. Your regular streams today are Pokemon, and Draggle's Fire Emblem, and of course, more Marvel's Spider-Man, or sorry, Marvel Avengers with Spider-Man in it. Okay, back to the review. The spoiler section was very heavy because there was a lot of stuff that happened in the movie that it's hard to not really, you know, go over. There's a ton of stuff. So, yeah, spoiler section, totally gone. I would give the movie probably like an 8.5 or 9. I would need to watch it again to see all the little Easter eggs, because I'm sure there was a lot of stuff we missed. This movie I would recommend going to see twice if you can, but I'm going to wait until the pandemic is over, just because it was kind of an awkward theater experience with some stuff. So I don't really do theaters very well, so... But Amber made it a very enjoyable experience. It's just like the people around me made me very nervous, more or less. So, but
yeah, the movie was really good. Like I don't know. I mean, I would probably put it in my top 5 Spider-Man movies of all time. And it was really good. You know, a lot of people are saying that the movie was better than some, you know, Tobey Maguire movies. However, I don't really think that it was better than any Tobey Maguire movies.
No, it followed a lot of Tobey Maguire beats. Like, they did what's known as the Raimi cam, as the director put it, and Tom Holland. So the reason why I think the movie is doing really well too is because it kind of feels like Spider-Man 4. Kind of feels like that Raimi vision with the villains and all this other stuff. They like went out of their way to really make the audience feel for what's happening instead of that kind of MCU vision that all the films look like. Like, they all have this kind of, I don't know, Marvel aesthetic that every MCU film follows. Like, the same camera angle, the same, like, choreography for the action sequences. And this movie felt like a Sam Raimi film, which makes sense because Sam Raimi is coming back as a director for Marvel movies. He's doing the Doctor Strange movie, which is supposed to be like kind of a horror movie. So it would make sense that they're getting audiences used to that style of cinematography again, because it's been a while since the last Raimi movie in Marvel, 2007. But it's interesting to see that style of film with a lot of heart and, you know, personal consequences and stakes and things like that still works today as a superhero movie.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like I mean, I was starting to think that, like, the movie, that's what I didn't really like about a lot of the Tom Holland movies, was it was just surreal, like, everything is going his way and nothing can go wrong. And I thought it was very odd how everyone I talked to was always like, yeah, like, I like him, he's my favorite Spider-Man, he's so happy and there's nothing wrong, like, nothing ever happens bad. And I always want to talk to people and be like, how can you relate to this kind of person? Like, especially knowing that their lives aren't perfect either. How can you relate to someone whose life is perfect? It just doesn't make any sense. So it was interesting to, yeah, finally see some consequences for certain things happening. Like,
there were definitely stakes, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, I really liked the movie from beginning to end. The movie starts out really, like, with a lot of action right at the beginning and a lot of things happening, and, you know, I didn't really have a lot of problems with the movie, but I mean,
didn't you say it was your favorite MCU movie? Like, did it beat Thor Ragnarok for you, or no?
I said it was my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Movie.
You said
I
it
don't
was
think
your
it was my favorite MCU movie.
Okay, all right.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it's maybe I said it in the theater. I don't know what I might have been in the moment. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember saying that at all.
That's fine.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to, like, get a tape recorder on myself so I can check back. I never remember saying that. I don't think I would have said that.
It was during the fourth arc of the film.
I don't think I would have said that because I don't even see that many Marvel movies. So
okay.
I'm not even a huge. Never mind. I'm a
That's
DC
fine.
fan anyway.
I know.
So
I know.
It's not. No, I would put my rating for Spider-Man movies would probably be Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1 is my favorite. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2 is my second favorite. I feel like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie would be third, and then Into the Spider-Verse fourth, and then this one, then the Spider-Man No Way Home fifth. For my top 5 Spider-Man movies. And the only reason I put Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movie fourth before Into the Spider-Verse is Into the Spider-Verse was really fantastic, but it was an animated film. So I really like seeing Spider-Man actually, like, jump off rooftops in a suit as a...
That's fair.
So, but I would...
So as a suit actor.
Yeah, but I would say Into the Spider-Verse I would put before the Tom Holland movie because I really, really... really like Into the Spider-Verse as an animated movie. I think it's really good. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I don't know. My favorite Marvel movie, if I did say this was my favorite Marvel movie, I apologize. Maybe I was in the moment.
You don't need to apologize.
My favorite Marvel movie is probably... I don't really think that Thor Ragnarok was my favorite Marvel. That's not my favorite Thor movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No. That's everyone else's favorite Thor movie. I probably like the first... I liked the Thor movies you didn't like. I liked Thor the Dark World. I liked Thor the first one. I liked Captain America. I don't really know what my favorite Marvel movie is. I would have to really think about it because I haven't seen all of them. I'm starting to go back. I just started watching part of Shang-Chi. I know which movies are not my favorite Marvel movies, but I just don't know which ones are my favorite yet. But this could be, if I really think about it, this could be my favorite Marvel movie. It really could. I didn't realize this was a Marvel movie. I thought this was a Sony movie, so I didn't know.
Okay, so we're going to wrap this thing up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out Spider-Man, out now. Like we said, the spoiler section was very, very long because there's a lot of stuff to unpack in this movie. This is not the last of the Spider-Man videos that we'll be making, because we will be doing a discussion video on where we think the film is going to go. We left out some spoiler stuff so that if you guys go to the movie and you haven't seen it, then some of the stuff we didn't talk about, which was a lot, we didn't bring up, so that way you guys can see where, because I didn't really talk about the post-credit stuff, which is fine, and some of the other stuff, so that gives you guys something to, and we didn't talk about all the other stuff that happened in the third and the fourth arc. There's a lot of stuff to unpack in this movie, more so than Endgame and Infinity War, which had multiple characters. There's a lot of Spider-Man centered stuff, but all you need to know is that at its core, this is a Spider-Man movie. It's the end of Tom Holland's origin. His future is very bright if he continues to be Spider-Man, and we love the film, so we hope you guys did too. Thank you so much for listening and hanging out for our Spider-Man review, and we'll see you guys in the next video. The next live stream will be tonight around 5 o'clock-ish, and we hope you guys will enjoy that. All right, so until then, Spider friends, tell us your favorite part of the movie, and we'll see you later. God bless and happy gaming.
See ya.